Your attention.
So, do I have your attention now? Perfect, because we have a lot to discuss today, a whole internet to fix. We will be discussing what has shifted in the tech industry to bring us to this point, why things feel so frustrating and mind-numbing online, and what we can do to protect ourselves in the current environment. I promise, once we get past the lecture part of this video, you will feel informed, entertained, and empowered. My goal is not to tell you information to fearmonger, but rather I believe through using information and art, we could take back a little bit of power in order to continue to feel joy and creativity rather than feel numb and full of doom. Access to information and discussion will allow us to fix this mess that we're in. Sounds good? Perfect. Let's get started, shall we? Attention is one of the biggest resources we have. Some say the new gold is data, but what good is data if no one cares to notice? Nothing is more valuable to tech companies than your attention. It is one of the resources that you can reserve purely for yourself and have a little bit of control over in this chaotic digital world. An underlying application of AI is figuring out how to keep you engaged with these products. The more you engage with them, the more data they have about you to keep you in that loop. Attention is a double entendre in the tech world. There is the attention that humans can give or deny, but it is also a concept within AI itself. In their paper, published in 2017, Google outlined basically why everything sucks right now. In Attention is All You Need, researchers outlined the transformer architecture, which shaped the current AI landscape. Transformers use what is called the self-attention mechanism, which allows the model to look at all the words in a sequence and then weigh each word based on importance in order to build a larger context, rather than look at one word at a time. These words are then broken down into chunks, which is called tokens, like we discussed last time. This allows the model to understand more of what the user is trying to communicate, and what has changed AI into what we currently see today. I like to think of it like this. Because of the transformer architecture, models then became able to read entire paragraphs at a time rather than just individual words. It just became able to read more at once. Part of why this is successful is through utilizing GPUs, which have more of the required architecture called cores, needed to be able to analyze data at a massive scale. This is part of the reason why purchasing new tech products is becoming out of the question for the average consumer. Majority of basic tech resources like CPUs, GPUs, and memory such as RAM and SSDs are being reserved for data centers to build AI. They're calling it a shortage. They're hoarding it. This is a very brief breakdown of this paper and the transformer architecture. I have linked the paper down below for you to read and other resources discussing it. But for now, basically all we need to understand is that in 2017, researchers figured out the architecture required to take AI to the next level. Cool. In order for that to work, they then took their understanding of the system and began scaling data centers in order to achieve this dream of creating AI. The only issue is, how can we get people to agree or at least let them build the data centers required to make this product successful? One obstacle the industry faced is regarding regulations, specifically the Paris Climate Agreement. This was an agreement signed by 195 countries in 2016, which acknowledged that climate change is a major issue that needs to be addressed. The agreement also noted the impact of industry in the effect of climate change, and at its core has a unifying goal of combating climate change. It is a binding agreement that each nation part of the treaty will create strategies to address the social and economic changes required to reduce temperature levels down to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels through reducing their greenhouse gas emissions to achieve this unifying goal. Remember, even though we're not talking about it right now, climate change is still something that is very scary and it has an impact on us. This is a brief breakdown of the Paris Climate Agreement. I have linked resources down below for further reading. Now, construction of data centers can make it very hard to be in compliance with this regulation. Much like Queen Mother Lindsay Hubbard, I too enjoy using a timeline as a storytelling mechanism. So, on June 1st, President number 45 announces that the United States will be leaving the Paris Climate Agreement. Then, on June 12, 2017, Attention is All You Need was published. Meanwhile, in 2018, Google begins quietly retiring their motto, "Don't be evil," no longer their motto. Finally, on November 4th, 2020, the United States left the Paris Climate Agreement. However, in February 2021, President Biden re-entered the United States into agreement, only for us to leave it again on January 2026 under President 47. This sequence of events led up to the AI measuring contest we're in the middle of right now. So now here we are. We are no longer saying we promise to not be evil, and we got this pesky climate agreement regulations out the way. Now we can go crazy and build all the data centers we need to create our all-knowing entity, and everyone will love us, right? Except as much as it often feels like the average consumer does not have power, we very much do. We need to be convinced that a product is worth purchasing, or in this case, paying attention to. Now, it is also a double-edged sword. While they have the architecture now established, the data needed to make this product successful is lacking. Now, this is where you come in. The more we scroll, consume, fight online, watch AI-generated slop, the more we feed into the machine, and the better the machine works. Now, the machine only works if you pay attention to it. It literally feeds off of your attention. They need you in order to justify the product's existence. The more you scroll, the more addicted you become to the cheap dopamine hits. And we continue to deny ourselves the attention and willingly give it up to the matrix. Now, if anything goes wrong, they will simply ask for forgiveness later. But at the same time, we are the ones facing the true consequences when we get hooked so they can justify their own existence. It's designed to be addictive like cigarettes, so there's always a customer, selling you back intelligence that you can have yourself. And I think we are intuitively feeling the effects of this and are struggling to find the answer. The goal is to create profit and to offshore our own thinking, perspective, and purpose to these machines. They also want to keep you as a consumer in general. The more they know about you, your interests, the easier it will be to market products to you in a way that will uniquely convince you to purchase them. It is analytics at an intimate level, with the sole goal of convincing you how to feel, think, vote, and spend your time and money on. The more time you spend online engaging with these ideas, the more normalized they become. When I first started talking about wanting to make YouTube videos, people would tell me just to start putting stuff out there and post content consistently, but that wasn't my intention. I didn't want to be a content creator. I wanted to make cool videos about the things on my mind and that others may also be thinking about. It seems counterintuitive to just spam whatever, even without AI slop. And I'm kind of bored of scrolling and seeing human-made slop promoting whatever crap from TikTok Shop or Amazon. And I know I said I want to see bad art, and that's true, but this is not art. It's just mindless consumption. It gives me the same feelings as AI art. And honestly, more than anything else, I believe you deserve better than slop. Your attention deserves to be given to something that was created with effort. Another thing people ask me is, what do you think about the robot revolution? What are you going to do when the robots take over? Baby, it's already here. We're in the middle of it. These systems are designed to control how we think, what to buy, so that way we can fund it. Then these systems are trained to take our jobs, and the jobs that are still available for humans, it's trained to deny us access to them. We are going to continue to see an increase in AI slop regardless. More AI videos floating around the feed. AI cats doing cute things because real art brings us joy, and it creates feelings, and it causes us to have feelings of wanting to make the world a better place. AI art just numbs us and distracts us. That's why I care so much about seeing any type of genuinely human-made art. The way to resist this is by taking back your time and your energy and keeping your attention. Your attention is the most valuable resource. It is more important than gold right now. When you scroll, be an observer, not a consumer. Adopting digital stoicism might just save you. You can look, but do not instantly internalize what you're viewing until you have time to sit and reflect on it. You can also resist by being more social instead of antisocial. Go outside, engage with each other, read physical books, and keep away from screens whenever you can. Or if you need to play a game, play a game that was made before 2010. Write essays, go on dates, be nice to each other. But please, for the love of God, do not ask ChatGPT things to do instead of doom scrolling. The most important thing you can do to resist and to keep your attention is to read physical books. A little bit each day for enjoyment and pleasure. It doesn't matter how many books you finish or how quickly you do, just as long as you're putting the effort to read consistently every day or most days. Start by reading things you already know you like to get back into the habit. But Machina, what books should I read? I'm so glad you asked. Welcome to QVE, where we prioritize quality, value, and effort. Remember, the best way to get into reading is to start by reading what you already know you'd like. Start our show off by taking a call from one of our viewers. Computer, show me something super gay and horny. Alright, jumping right into it. Well, for fans of heated rivalry, did you know it originally started off as a book? And there's a lot of books. Trust me, you'll be entertained for hours. Now, if you also enjoyed other types of romance, such as The Summer I Turned Pretty, or To All the Boys I Loved Before, those ones also started as books. Again, I also highly recommend this, especially for the summertime. If you just want something that's light and feels good, not too much stress or tension, highly recommend either The Summer I Turned Pretty book series or To All the Boys I Loved Before. And if you're looking for something a little bit sapphic and a little bit spacey, we have Atmosphere. Highly recommend this one. It is so sweet. Ugh, I almost cried while reading it. Definitely recommend it. If you haven't read a book since middle school, start with that. Whether it be a John Green novel or a dystopian such as The Hunger Games or Legend, I highly recommend starting with that because you already know you're going to like it. You already know what to expect. It will get you back into the habit of reading. In addition, Legend has another sequel that came out that focuses on the brother, so if you love the story and want to see how it extended since you last read it, that's a great one to pick up again. Similarly, my favorite book of all time is The Hunger Games, specifically Catching Fire, but I love this trilogy so much. And if you haven't read it since about 2014, do I have news for you? 2 prequels have come out. One, A Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, which had a movie that came out a couple years ago with Rachel Zegler. That one is about Snow's perspective, of course. But there's another one, Sunrise on the Reaping. That one came out last year, and there's a movie coming out this year. It's about Haymitch's games. Highly recommended for any dystopian or Hunger Games lover, and also good to prepare for the movie. Now, if you're someone who loves celebrity culture, another thing I'd recommend doing is reading a biography or memoir on a celebrity you like or are intrigued by. Whether it be Queen Dolly Parton, Julia Fox. For Survivor fans, Parvati even wrote a book. We also got Pamela Anderson. There's also memoirs about celebrities that you may not have even heard of that may be entertaining, such as one that partied in the Gilded Age. Seems kind of appropriate. This is my next read. Whatever topic, whatever celebrity, socialite, current, past that you can think of, there's likely a memoir or biography about them. Highly recommend diving into that. Now, if you're looking for massive worlds to get drawn into and hyperfixate on for months at a time, I highly recommend many different fantasy novels. I'm sure you've heard of A Court of Thorns and Roses. There's also The Throne of Glass. There are so many of these books, and look how massive they are. I mean, come on. The amount of time you will spend with these characters, you'll get attached, and it is the most heartbreaking and entertaining experience ever. I highly recommend diving into these massive books, and it's also fantastic for your attention span. So, I highly recommend A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Throne of Glass. We also have Dungeon Crawler Carl. This is also a massive world, and this guy keeps pumping them out. Like, he came out with 2 books this year, and they're like equally this big. You will be entertained, especially if your heart is broken from never having a Game of Thrones book. If you need something huge to dive into, highly recommend this. We also have Brandon Sanderson books. These are also massive. I mean, come on, how would you not want to know what's happening in here? And mind you, these are part of a series, so you get so much value. It's like binge watching a show, except it can last for as long as you wanted to, and you can keep rereading it, you can analyze it. That's our show for today. I hope you like some of these books. Remember, read with what you know you will like. Don't force yourself to read what you think you should be, whether it be a difficult classic or whatever is trending on Book Talk. I honestly recommend, regardless of any of these, go to your local library, wander around, and see what calls to you. Kind of like the wand sorting in Harry Potter. The right book will call for you. I hope you enjoyed our presentation, and I hope this inspires you to go get a library card and escape into massive worlds for free. Thank you.
Attention.